What
I
about it?
did see that. I did see that you quit your job.
Yeah.
What happened with that?
Well, I'm in school right now, and it's my summer break, and I didn't really have much of a summer break because I was working full time and all this other stuff, and I just couldn't be bothered with work anymore. And it's plus it's like all this new bullshit got implemented into my job, and it's just like I couldn't deal with it much longer. And I was already
Yeah.
on the cusp of leaving, so it's just like I'm just leaving now. So yeah,
And this is like the straw that broke the camel's back, essentially.
yeah, I've been meaning to leave for a minute now, but it was finally did it.
I mean, hey, at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you. That's what's important.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Like, job that fucking sucks, and then it asks more and more of you until you eventually leave, and then they're like, "But why did you leave?" Oh, I don't know. This place fucking sucks.
It's like you bring out the laundry list. It's like, well, here, how much time you got?
Yeah, man. It's
Yeah.
your workplace sucks ass. That's why I left. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was my last place. Straight out. It was so weird. It's so weird when you leave. Like in like my last job. It's the first time they were ever like, we want to do an exit interview, and I was like, sure. And we did the exit interview, and they were like, so why? It seems so sudden that you're leaving. I'm like, I've made multiple complaints. Like, I've told you guys. I've told my supervisor. I told you guys. I told everybody all the things that were wrong with this place. They're like, okay, well, what could we do to, like, do better in the future? I'm like, listen to the complaints when people complain. I was like,
Yeah,
it's not hard.
I wonder if the exit interview is like an attempt to get you back, or
like-
if it's actual criticism this time. Yeah.
They actually asked, hey, how could we keep you? I'm like, I've already accepted the other job. They're like, but what could we do to possibly keep you? I was like,
I already
pay me-
accepted the other.
yeah, I was like, pay me more, like listen to blah blah blah, and they were like, oh, we'll get in contact with you. You don't give a shit. You want me to say, nah, man, I'm okay to keep getting whipped. That's what you want me to say, and nah, homie.
Yeah.
Take an exit interview as an opportunity to just like roast the shit out of.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you have another job lined up, it's like, oh my god, the bullets are gonna be flying now.
I did. I told them, I'm like, I'm gonna be straightforward with you. This place fucking sucks, and my mental health just fucking deteriorated being here. They're like, why?
You're like, I just told you why. Why do you keep asking me why? Like, why?
Like, oh god, so far removed from reality, man.
The job I was at, I know I mentioned a few times in the cast, the financial institution. I was having some health issues, and it was a call center job too. So those are like, it was, my training was horrible. It was shit. I was having panic attacks like during my shift every day, and my health I was having severe health issues. And this is the first time I've ever done this. I just outright quit a job. Usually I would just give it my 2 weeks, but it was one of those things where I needed to do what was best for me. And it was one of those things where I got a text from my boss who was based in another state in a different time zone. So like there was half the time where they'd be like, well, why'd you leave at this time? It was this time here. I was like, I live in the East Coast. It's a different, this is my schedule. She's like, oh, I was like, how do you not know my own schedule? And I'm a part of your team. I was like, I ran off a rant about that. But I got a text message saying, she was like, hey, so sorry you're leaving. You're a great part of the team, blah, 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 blah. Basically baiting me to see if they're awake could stay. I was like, unfortunately, due to my own health reasons, I have to do what's best for me. And I gave it this lengthy text back. The response I got back from her was, okay.
Okay.
Wow,
that was literally it.
About it. She wanted to cheese you.
Right. And the thing with later, like a couple hours passed, then I was hanging out with my girlfriend, and then I get a text saying like, oh, when you come by and get your stuff tomorrow, you have to stay outside the building. I'm like, okay, I can't come in and get my own stuff that I bought.
Oh my god.
And they're like,
so petty. Oh my god.
Now like I said, she's in another state. I'm like, okay. So she's like telling me to bring all these things back. It's like, bring back your work shirt, your name tag, all this stuff. I'm like, okay. I mean, my name tag has my name on it. Like I'm looking at it, like it's like literally right here on my clipboard, like a little magnet board right here. I'm like,
it's like a custom name tag.
It's not even like a little sticker that they put over it.
It's like And so I go in, but my supervisor, yeah, she's my supervisor, but my boss, I told her all that because I'm texting her back and forth like, "Hey, I'm here. Vivian told me to stay out here." I just dropped her name. I don't care. Uh,
Fuck you, Vivian.
but like, I was texting back and forth with my supervisor. She's like, "Just come inside." Well, I don't understand this. So she was actually sad I was leaving and wanted to know why. And I told her it's health reasons. She goes, "Understandable. Sad to see you go." She wasn't guilt tripping. She was legitimately like, "Do what's best for you. Use me as a reference." And I was like, "All right." Uh, so I went up to my desk and I was telling her about how like, my boss told me to bring all this stuff back. She goes, "What the hell was that woman smoking?" I'm like, "I don't know." So she just told me to keep the name tag, and then when she told me to keep the shirt, she's like, "You've been wearing that. That's got even though you wash it." I just donated the bitch to Salvation Army. I was like, "Here's a shirt." I just left it, and then like after I got my stuff and I got home, and I got one final text from my boss before I left. She goes, I told you weren't supposed to set foot in the building." I was like, "They said I could come in. So if you have issues with that, talk with them." I was trying to follow procedure. They can vouch for this. There's even cameras with audio saying like you could listen to the whole conversation. She's just like, "Well, you're lucky we didn't take your paycheck from you." I was like, "Well, if you did, I would have sued y'all."
Jesus
So
Christ.
yeah, it was like it just went from like different levels of petty to like probably like try and like goad me and be like, "Oh no, I take my decision back. I'll stay." I was like, "Nah," I was firm with it. It was just one of those things where I kept solidifying, like, "Yeah, this job is not
Oh
good at
yeah,
all."
especially when they start treating you like that all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I
You know
didn't.
what's funny is that they told you that you should hand in your name tag. Like they're just gonna hire a dude with your name like immediately after. Like,
Yeah,
oh, but we're looking for another Will,
this is it.
actually.
This is the name
Very
tag that
good.
they want me to give back.
Very good. Yeah,
So
just they're gonna. It's sitting there. Wait, is that your first and last name?
yep.
You covered the company, but you doxed yourself. I'm not editing
I
that out.
don't care.
You know what?
My
There's
name,
probably plenty of William Millers on this.
Yeah.
Probably. That's a good
There's-
point, actually. Yeah, it's a
yeah,
pretty.
there's so many.
There's so many
by that
Millers, I
name.
imagine. But yeah, they want that, and they've got William Miller sitting there at the company, and then they're like, "Somebody, hey, I'm applying. My name's William." You don't even need to interview. Your name is first and last name's William Miller. Finally, 15 years later, this paid off. Getting this fucking name tag back. Save the 15 cents ordering. That's
Yeah.
bullshit.
God, it's like an outdated name tag too. Now it's all like digital badges, like flip, and there you go. One of those things.
Oh my god. I think badges are pretty fucked up, to be honest. I think it like caddles staff. It makes like when I was working at McDonald's, it was so fucked to have a name tag because I remember a manager one time, I forgot to wear my name tag, and I worked with this woman like 4 days a week, right? Like had jokes with her, worked, it was a good relationship, wasn't wearing my name tag, and then one time she was just like completely forgot my name. This is after like 6 months working together. And I was like, I need to find another job.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not about this bullshit. So, but it was funny though, because after I left and I got a job in security, and that's when I like started doing security. I like as soon as they're like, "Oh, you got a job, you start in 2 weeks." I was like, I've got enough savings to survive 2 weeks. I was like, oh my god. I came in for my shift, like in my normal clothes, holding my shirt, and as I walked in, they're like, "Oh, you didn't start for 10 more minutes." I'm like, "No, I don't." And threw the shirt at them and gave them a letter that just said I quit. And that was my
That's
whole.
the way to do it.
Yeah, and they were like, "What are we supposed to do?" I'm like, "Not my fucking job." I mean, you guys paid like I went from like 20 hours to fucking 4 hours a week. Like, how do I pay rent on that? They're like, "You could have, gone part-time." I'm like, so I would get 10 guaranteed hours, but I would also get paid $3 less. What the fuck? Like,
Wow.
yeah, and they complained about it hard, dude, hard. And they locked down my account before I even got back home. Like, they locked down everything. My final paycheck came in, and they locked down all my login details, my ability to get into the intranet to check my hours. Like, they locked shit down before I got home, and I lived 10 minutes down the road. But
Wow, that's McDonald's?
yeah, man. Like,
Holy shit.
they did me so dirty, man. Because I got hired a second time from McDonald's. That was the second time. And as I started there, I knew the manager because the manager, the store manager was actually a manager at my first McDonald's. And she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, you're Josh's little brother." Because my brother got me the first job. I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And she's like, "Oh my god, yeah." Like, and another friend of mine started working there again as well, called Arjun. I mean, they're not saying last names, whatever. And basically was just like, oh my God, yeah, cool. We need like 2 dudes who are available like night and day for like 30 hours a week. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. So locked us both in, 30 hours casual, making like good money, great workplace. She left the store and then they put in some absolute bitch who
Yep.
fucking
That's what-
hated my brother. Like it went from here's a good chance, and basically like this, she hated my brother. She's like I didn't like Josh. I thought he was cocky. And as soon as she said that to me, like my hours dipped to nothing. And she was the one who sat down with me. And she's like, if we've got a problem, we can put you on part-time. And I was like, you guys won't pay me anything. She's like, well, we can teach you to be a manager. And it's like, I don't want to get stuck at this fucking place. Are you serious? Like, I just want to get by. So, oh my God. It was so satisfying throwing that fucking shirt in their face. Oh my God.
That's gotta be like a really good feeling. Like I've never had it like that with a job, but close with the one I just told you all about with mine, where I want to just like like throw it back, but like everything that around me was expensive, so I couldn't throw something. And knowing me, I would have thrown something and like broke a monitor. And I'm like, well, okay.
All right, I'm gonna leave. Don't worry about that last paycheck.
Essentially, yeah. Yeah, but God, man, like, even when I left the video game store, it was one of those things where like I had been there for a long time, and like it was never like a negative thing. So I've had jobs where I left where like it hurt to leave. Like I didn't want to, but I had to do what was best for me, and but that's different from a job where you're like, this job sucks, and like you had that with McDonald's. Teo had that with his job, and I had that with one of my jobs as well. But it's just like when you finally get like, if you work that shift, it's your last shift at a place that you just hate. It's the best feeling ever.
But it still can't go by any sooner.
Right, like it's literally like you're counting down the milliseconds, like the entire shift, because it's like so slow. And even if it's the last day of a job where like you love that job, like you just want to soak in everything of it. But when you finally leave, like regardless if you loved it or hated it, it's like a very like, okay, like it's like you get that sigh of relief of happiness.
Yeah.
But if you loved it, you get a little sad. But because you're getting ready to start the next chapter of like your life right there.
Yeah, I mean, like everything you do kind of like sounds so like cliche, but like everything you do does define like the way that you are later about stuff. And
exactly,
my last job after the exit interview, because it was at the very end of my shift, which was at 5:30 in the morning. At the 5:30 in the morning, they did an exit interview. I'm like fried as shit from my last night. I'm like, this is the worst time to get me. I'm way more angry than I was before dealing with this shit. And I remember
like
driving home. Yeah, and I was driving home. Oh man, I felt so good. I drove like past this place called Blacktan. Yeah, Blacktan. It's this really nice like Japanese like restaurant, but they do like really nice coffees. And I drove by there and I grabbed a coffee because like I was going from like working like 10 o'clock until 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. Yeah, 10 to 5:30 in the morning, and I was going from that to going to like starting at 8 a.m. on the other side of the city, starting at so like leaving home at 7. So I was like, I'm just gonna stay up all day. And I got the 2 coffees and I got home and I gave it to my wife and I drank mine, and then I was like just hanging out at home, and then I sat on the couch and I just fucking passed out, and that was it. Like there was something like my body just like gave out from the frustration, and I slept like maybe like 4 hours. It wasn't long, but like I got up and I felt so good, man. And that was just, yeah. And ever since then, for 7, close to 8 months now, I get up at 5:30 in the morning every day because I did night work for so long. I like find so much satisfaction in getting up super duper early.
I'm the same way. Like, even if like the job I have now and the one like the video game store and this job I have now, it's retail. Some of the stores don't open till like 10. But ever since there were times where I would like sleep in, but the latest I would get up is like maybe 7:38. But I get up at 5:30 my time as well. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Just like you get that, it's like that routine of like, oh, I'm awake, and then as you get older, you realize, wow, I'm getting tired by like 10 p.m. What's going on here? But I think what it is like we get up so early and we're just
Yeah.
doing so much throughout the day. We're just like, oh yeah, I'm tired.
It's a good habit, but like
Yeah.
my friend's like, he's like, "What time do you eat dinner?" I'm like, I'll finish at 4:30. I'll get home at 5:30 roughly, and I'm like, I walk my dog, and then I'll have dinner, and then like I'll hang out until about 8:30, and then I'll go to bed. I'll watch some Critical Role and go to sleep at like 9. He's like, "Holy fuck, you're like 60, dude." I'm like, "Nah, bro." I'm like, dude. In summer, I can get up at 5:30 in the morning and take my dog to like a dog beach. It's called Red Beach, and like it's just a leash free, and I can go there at like 6. Takes 30 minutes to get there. 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Not right now, because right now it's like 4 degrees in the morning. It's like fucked.
No.
Yeah, and nobody's there on a Saturday morning, and then I do that, get breakfast with the wife, and then we head all the way home, and it's only like 8 a.m. and then I've got an entire day, and then
Yeah.
going to bed
Yeah.
early feels fucking awesome, man.
It's a very rewarding, because I'm the same way. When I get up, it's like, oh man, I get so much done. Like on my days off from my job now, I'm up at 5:30. I lay in bed for a little bit, like, like check stuff. But if I need to get up and do things, I get it done. But then by like 8, 9 o'clock my time, like I'll be done with everything. I'm like, I got so much to do today. Like I got so much free time. Like I could just, I've been reading, so I got some like books I'm reading. So like I do that, and or like I game, or just relax, or just spend time with my parents, or like go outside, play with my 2 shepherds I have, because they got energy, burn that off. I know exactly what you're talking about, Psych. It is like the best feeling when you get up and get all that done. You're like, oh yeah. And then when you get tired, you're like, I'm just gonna go relax and watch some YouTube. Like you watch Critical Role, I watch whatever pops up on my feed on when I log in, and then like without a beat, I'll watch a video, and then like less than 5 minutes into the video, I'll be already asleep. It's like
That's me
it's like
too. That's me
like-
too.
or like my phone will hit me in my face. I'm like, bedtime, and I'm like,
This light concussion is great for sleep.
it's always like the bridge of my nose that gets hurt. So I'm surprised, like because I have an iPhone, so these things are kind of hefty. I'm surprised I haven't like bruised the shit out of my nose yet.
Yeah,
from like dropping it. It's like boom.
I've only done that once before, and it hurt like a bitch.
It wakes you up. You're like, oh.
I think I gotta go to sleep.
It's like, hopefully I won't die during when I breathe. Let's say, or like when you get hit, you're like, but
just choke on your own blood by accident.
Oh, that'd be the worst.
Horrible.
It's like, how'd you die? Yeah, it's like, how'd you die? Well, dropped my phone on my face. Didn't know I broke my nose.
Just kind of fell asleep and choked on it, and then here
I am. I've actually broken my nose before, and it's not fun. It was a concert. One of my favorite bands is the Misfits. It was like right before my birthday, and so I went to the show, and I was just excited to be there, And then like there was a mosh pit that opened up behind me, just my luck. But I have a friend there who is, kind of. If he gets flicked hard enough at the time, he would have been like, "Ow!" So I'm like, "Well, this could be bad." So I moved him right in front of me. So like, kind of like, you see where my mic stand is here? Put it this way. My friend was here, so I moved him over in front of me. And I was like, "Man, something doesn't feel right." So I turned around. All of a sudden, I see a fist, maybe like this big around, coming at my face. I'm like, "Oh!" So my friend who's in front of me, and my friend to my like on my left, they like, "Hey, Will," and I'm like, they just see I'm not there. So they look down on the floor, and on the floor they helped me up. The dude who hit me, he was very apologetic. He actually helped me up. We checked my glasses. My glasses were fine. And my friends look at me and they're like, "Will, you okay? You just took a punch to the face." The guy was like even very apologetic. He's like, "Hey, stay here. I'm gonna get you a beer." I'm like, all right. So I'm like watching the show. I'm like feeling like pressure in my nose the whole time. And the show was great, but my friends are like, "Man, maybe we should take you to the doctors to do this." I'm like, "Fuck no, I'm fine." And my one friend's like, "All right, your nose is kind of swollen, but if it feels worse, let me know." Well, we go through the whole show. We get home, and my nose is like starting to like tingle real bad. I'm like, "Man, this sucks." My friends were so oblivious that they didn't even notice how bad my nose was. And so when I get home, my mom's still up, and she's like, "Hey, how's that? What happened in your nose?" Like she was gonna say, "How was the show?" But it went to, "What happened to your nose?" And I told her real quick. So apparently my nose was like super swollen, and you could see where I got hit, where it broke. And my mom was like, "Okay, this is gonna hurt." I'm like, "What?" And by the time I finished saying what, she snapped it back in place,
Really?
and that's when
Yeah.
everything came out.
Oh, wow.
She just
And
like
That's so metal.
turning the faucet.
yeah, it was so bad.
Oh,
To this day, every time I think about it, I'm just like, because. And then like I said, the next day was my birthday. It was also a surprise birthday too. Of course, I had class.
Surprise!
Yeah, it's like I had my final exam. I was gonna meet everybody at for my parents and my friends for dinner. Didn't realize it was gonna be a surprise party. So I show up. The surprise was ruined because my one friend parked in front of someone's car. I was like, "Oh, that's so and so's car." He's like, No, it's not." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." And he parked in front of a window where I could see everybody. I'm like, "Okay, cool." And of course, the girl I liked at the time was there too. I'm like, "Great." I got raccoon eyes going on. My nose is fucked.
Should have told your
And then
friends like I got into a fight defending somebody, and like somebody was kicking a dog, and I kicked the shit out of them, but the dog's okay.
I mean, I should have. Looking back at it, I walk in, everyone's like, "Happy Burr, what's wrong with your nose?" I was like, "Oh, I went to a show last night. It got broken." Of course, the girl I was like trying to date, she was like, "Wow, okay," and just leaves. I'm like,
Oh.
"Cool." So I just went to. I was just like, at the time, I'm like, "All right, I'm just gonna go enjoy my birthday. Bye." So like, we just had pizza, and like every time like something would lightly touch my nose, I'm like, ah. So people are like, "Will, go get looked at." I was like, "No, that's so cool. My mom fixed it." Mom was like, "Yep."
Anyways.
My mom used to be a nurse too, so she knew how to do it. But it's one of those things where like it healed weird. So if you look at me dead on without glasses, sometimes you can still see it's kind of crooked a little bit.
It gives character.
So,
Gives
oh yeah,
character.
oh yeah. But yeah, no, that was besides fingers and toes. That was like the one thing that I've broken. It was.
Fucking
It's not fun, boys.
I've never broke anything. I've only fractured my arm. I fractured my arm, and I'm fairly sure I had my nose dislocated, but not like broken. When I was first day of year 7, and I got into a fight with a guy who I had never seen, and I'd heard his name for 2 years in primary school, and people were like, "Oh, this guy Sam. Oh my god, he's bad news. Like he never turns up to school, and he gets into fights, and his dad's a bikie, and all this stuff." I didn't even know it was him. I didn't even know. Never met the guy, so I just somehow got into a fight with him. I don't even remember how it fucking started. He now I didn't know, but he was actually a boxer, like, and had trained as a boxer for the last like 3 years. So like since he was like a kid, like he was 15, and he had been training since he was like 12 because his dad's a bikie and his dad taught him how to box.
Fuck.
And I got a couple of hits in, but Christ Almighty, he got a couple of hits in. I felt real confident until like he did a jab, and the jab was like perfect dead center. And I remember he hit me, and as he hit me, and this was before classes started. Like this is literally day 1. We're all waiting until we're getting taken to our classes, and he just comes bang, and he gets me, and it just blood all over my white shirt for first day at school. And I'm like, "Oh, holy shit." He's like, "You're right, dude?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I'm like, "There's just blood all over me." And anyway, yeah, went and cleared it up and stuff. And then I got home, and mom was like, "Oh my god, what happened to your shirt?" I'm like, "I made a friend." I was friends with that guy until I left school. That was it. Like,
that's what's. Hey, at least he asked if you were okay, because I don't think he realized how hard he hit you.
Yeah.
But if you see a lot of blood, that means he got you pretty good. So you're not okay at that point. But oh man, so and the thing is, you had to go after you cleaned your face off and everything, you had to go the whole day with like just red all over your white shirt. So
it's
like
the design, actually.
Yeah, this is a new design.
God.
It's kind of like a little bit of it's an alternative look. They only had a few of them, so I picked them up. But no, it was,
I got lucky.
Yeah. God, did you get lucky? I think I got lucky. You didn't break my nose. I think I got lucky.
You got really lucky. I wish I had that happen compared to what I had, but oh my god, dude! Like,
I think he like fucking ruined all the cartilage in my nose though, because like my nose doesn't have cartilage now. Like I can like push it down completely flat now.
You can move it around. Yeah.
Yeah. So If I do, like, I
Damn.
only have,
Wow.
that, like, just there's like the little bit of cartilage I have, so I can actually push my nose all the way down flat. So he, like, yeah, so he fucked me up, and my nose hurt a little bit. And then I got home, and then yeah, I just told my mum I had met a friend, and then
Well, you can't break something you don't have.
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
My brothers were like, "Oh yeah, good first day, year 7." I'm like, "Yeah, man, it was a good day." They're like, "All right, cool." Pat me on the back, and that was it. Nobody ever talked about it. My dad just was just like, "Oh yeah, I heard you had an interesting day." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Cool." Like,
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks,
yeah.
thanks, family.
Dad and 2 older brothers, and my mum even like kind of only gave half a shit. So like, I think everybody was just like, "Oh well, you're not dead, so like, it must have been a good day." Boys being boys, getting into fist fights by accident. Yeah, that was
Just
That's that thing, man. Is like half the stuff we probably did, because I think you and I are probably like about the same age. It's like I would say, and back in the day, like in elementary school, like middle school, like during like recess or like free periods and stuff like that, we got away with a lot of shit that like nowadays parents are like, little Jimmy can't do that. He's got his gluten disease and he can't be out in the sun for more than 5 seconds, like stuff like that. Of course, we're just like thrown to the wolves. It's like, oh yeah, go for it. We're like, ha. So
Yeah,
we
oh,
would
fine.
like climb. Yeah, we're indestructible. We would like climb trees, probably like jump down like a lot higher than we should. If we did as adults, we'd probably break our ankles. Like, okay,
Oh yeah.
you know, like this is when I had my 64. I was playing a lot of like Zelda Ocarina of Time, and you know, as Link, you would drop down, and you hear like he'd land, just like, hey.
Yeah.
That's what I would do as a kid. That's probably why I have shit ankles now. But hey, who's counting? So we would just do this stuff all the time. Like we would, go exploring in like bushes and stuff. They're like, oh, there's probably like pesticides or stuff in here that shouldn't be in here. We did a bunch of shit that we should have done as kids, and like, oh man,
When you kid,
don't even get me started.
When you're a kid though, you're like so much more like, you're not like unbreakable, but like you're very much like
Brazen. You're more brave to do stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like you're also like when you're young, like you don't have like bad knees. Like
No.
I have bad knees and bad ankles, and that's from various reasons of my adult life. And
Oh yeah.
like now, like from then I remember as a kid, I remember being on my friend's roof, and it was just a first story roof, and I remember looking down and being like, it's not that far. I bet I can jump off this. And I just jumped off it, and I landed, and I did a roll, and I was fine. And then as an adult, it's like, if I was standing on the first story, I'd be like, there's no fucking way I'm jumping off this bullshit.
Exactly. Like, man, I have, because my car is a truck, and I, sometimes I'll like jump out of the truck bed. And there was one day I was getting stuff out, moving some stuff, and I jump like on the truck bed from like the train to the grass, and I hear my I don't know how well my mic will pick this up, but I feel my knees do this.
Yep.
I don't know if you heard the pop.
Yep.
I was like, ah! It's like I just fell on the ground. And my girlfriend was there. She's like, are you okay? It's like, I did a no. She's like, well, don't do that, old man. I'm like, love you too.
I'm getting so old.
Yeah. It's like I have like you, I have knee issues with my ankles, a lower back issue. It's like Christ, once I hit 28, it's like, oh, body go broke now. And then when I hit 30, it's like, oh, you think you're gonna go out and have fun?
You're gonna do some low end calisthenics and get a good breakfast. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna.
Hey, I have been eating a lot of high fiber oatmeal lately, so
good for the
at least in regular.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Look what you.
Powdered fiber. Powdered fiber with your tea before bed, boys. That's how you get it.
Ooh. Hey, T-Tail, this is what you get to look forward to as you get older, my friend.
Don't you worry.
Oh man. Can't wait. I don't know if I could jump off of a roof though.
Yeah,
this is when we were younger, like before, like we hit with high school. No, even when I was in high school, stupid shit. Never mind.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know. God,
It kind
I
of
think
it kind.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Go. No, you go.
Okay.
Go,
For
go.
me, it
Go.
stopped when I was like a junior in like 11th grade in high school. That's when I stopped doing a lot of stupid stuff. Like, yeah, I could break something. That's when it finally clicked. I thought that was kind of weird. It's like I was doing all this stuff. Like I don't know. My friends and I tried to do like our own version of like Jackass,
Who didn't?
and
Who
that's when
didn't?
I mean, you know, who didn't at that point? But God, man, I was stupid when I was a lot younger.
Yeah.
I'll admit it. uh,
You think about like the awkward shit you do when you're really young, when you're like 15. Like you do
Yeah.
just the stupidest bullshit, and it's only like now as an adult you think like, oh my god, it's so silly.
why did I do that?
Hey, why did I do half the things I did, man? It's so fucking weird. I don't know. Like I think when you approach 30, like I don't. My missus is very like, oh my god, I'm gonna be 30 soon. She's freaking out about it. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck, I'm gonna lean into it. This is just, it's happening. I can't stop it from happening. Like, I'm 100%, like, I'm gonna be 30. I'm gonna be 30.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be 29 this year, and I'm 29 in a little under 2 months. And I just accept that that's gonna happen. So that's just what it is. And she's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I'm getting old, and like all these things. I think the thing I've learned is as you get older, you need to like spend more time maintaining your body. You need to like really be thinking about your food.
You use it or you lose it. That's for sure. And like
I try-
I'm only 20, and like I
You
didn't work
enjoy
out
it.
for like a whole year, and like I can already tell like if I move weird, my shin's gonna freaking crack, and I'm like, oh god, this is not good.
Teo,
You
I'm
know?
gonna tell you right now. I turned 33 this year. I don't look it, but oh, trust me, enjoy yourself while you can. It sucks. I'm gonna pass a word of advice to you, Psych. When you slowly start to approach 30, when you hit 30, never trust a fart.
No.
I'm telling you.
That's a dietary thing. No way, Will. Fuck you. That's not a no.
No, I'm not lying to you. Anyone I know who's turned 30 is like, oh, hold on, and they'll come back it's like, okay, yeah, false alarm is just a fart.
No,
I'm not
that's
lying to you.
No, that's a dietary thing. I don't believe that.
That's happened to me. That's happened to me. I've shit myself from what I thought was just a normal part.
Yeah.
Shit myself. I've done it too. Yeah, I've done it in my
Yeah.
adult life. Yeah, I think every adult shit themselves at least once. As an
Yeah.
adult, not as
Yeah.
like a 7-year-old.
But I feel like you can
teenager.
extinguish the fart or distinguish the fart, not extinguish. Hopefully, I mean you probably could do that too. But
That's a hot fart.
like,
It's
I
a
don't
good
know
year.
about
Yeah.
this one.
Oh my Christ.
God.
Oh, admittedly.
It's a good year.
It's a good year. It's a good vintage.
Oh yes, this is,
2017 was a good year for farts.
a lot of spice, a lot of sweet.
Yeah, sweet,
Good year, yeah.
spicy, bit of a minty aftertaste. Oh
Speaking
my
of-
god.
Speaking of nasty farts, I don't know. Like you said, as we get older, you got to watch your diet and stuff like that. I've been watching my diet, kind of.
What do you
I
mean?
indulged and had some. I still indulge and have like Taco Bell and Chick-fil-A every now and then, but oh man, farts are so much nastier when you're on like watching what you eat. And as you get older, I like gassed myself pretty good on the way home from today. I had to pull over. I was like, oh god, like,
Oh my God.
it was bad. Oh man.
But
Like-
the thing is like you eat better, and then when you eat, like when you're eating really well, like my diet's been getting better, and I've been losing weight, and I've been working out again. And then last night we went out to do putt-putt with some friends, and then we went to a burger place. It was like called like Burger Shack 69. Great fucking name. That's a great name.
I love that name.
And
It's like some shitty demo disc game.
it really does. It sounds like some like early 90s demo disc. And everybody's like picking their burgers and stuff. And I knew straight away what I was going to get. And it was called the Zeus.
Okay.
Jesus.
And it was double beef, double bacon, double cheese, lettuce, tomato, avocado. And then my missus got
Double beef
jalapeno
just mean 2 patties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 big fucking patties. Like
Oh
it
my
was big
God.
enough where like I had to crush it down to fit my mouth around it.
It's one of those.
And I put my mouth around some big things. And so basically I ate that and I had jalapeno poppers with it too. And like all that food was amazing. And I ate it and I didn't get meat sweats, which is surprising because I thought I'd get it from
Oh
this.
wow, yeah.
And today I was sitting on the couch after breakfast with the missus and I did a fart and I was sitting there. I was like, smelt it because I didn't think it smelled for a second. Then I was like, oh my God. And then seconds after, she's like, what the fuck was that? Like, I knew. I was like, it's too late. I can't do anything about this fart. It was so fucking heinous. I'm like, we're gonna have to split up for a second because like I've got some shit to take care of. And
Oh, no.
I power walked up the staircase, man, and oh my God.
Oh, that's the worst, man. Once like the thing is, once you mentioned the double meat, the double bacon, and the double cheese, I was like, oh, dude, that already made my stomach like, I have like I said, I have health issues. Sometimes when I eat stuff, either I immediately gotta go, or it'll take a bit, and then it hits, and I'm like, Christ! And it's always when it's delayed. It's always at the worst times too, especially when like I can't leave to go do what I need to take care of. But trust me, it's once you hit 30.
Nah, honey.
I feel like I'm not scared of 30, and I know I'm saying that as like a 20-year-old, but I feel like it's not until like you're like 40 that like it's like, oh God,
Yeah, I
we're,
mean,
we're halfway through it, huh?
But I think
Like,
I think when you hit 40 though, like your priorities have changed, so you care
Yeah.
less. But I think the problem is like 20 to 30, like that transitional 25 to 35. I think it's like you're accepting that you're no longer a young man, and it's like now you're accepting that you've just started becoming like I just accepted it. Now my life is old. I'm an old man. I like
Yeah.
have macronutrients. I have workout days. I go to bed early. I have like low physical activities I fucking do, like take my dog to the beach and shit. Like I do stuff that is within probably earlier to my age range, but I started working out again and you definitely feel better, man. It's like
Oh yeah.
the hard thing is like
Yeah.
keeping that shit up, especially when you don't want to. And when you're 20,
the
you're
thing
like,
is,
I can. Yeah.
like as long as you like, it doesn't matter how good the workout is, as long as you do it and like build that like neurological pathway, it's
Yeah.
like just worth it doing that alone. It's a good way to think about it. It's just like you went in, it doesn't matter how hard you worked or how well it went, you know?
Yeah. 100%.
Oh yeah.
Just gotta push yourself. And as long as, like you feel like you only do it for like half an hour, and then that's all it is, right?
Yeah, you don't want to like, especially if you're like getting back into it, you don't want to push yourself too hard. I'm just trying to get myself back into working out as well. But for a while I wasn't working and I needed to conserve everything I had. So now that I'm working again and the shifts aren't that long where I work at, dude, like literally I passed the gym I signed up for. So I have no excuse to not stop and like do like a quick little workout or, or you're even trying to work out before work. So like it's one of those things where I just need to do it. Like I need to stop saying, "Oh, I need to do this." I just need to, like just do it, even if it's like just getting on like the bike or the treadmill for like 15 minutes or so, and then do like a couple of the little workouts, just to get in the swing of things. As long as I try to make it consistent, and like you said, set up workout days, so that way I can set up and build that routine of everything of being back in the habit, because it helps. And I like 2020 though. It was for a lot of us, especially in my country during the pandemic. Gyms shut down and everyone was doing home workouts. I think that all
Longest I've
last.
ever been, I think. It was the
Yeah,
beginning of 2020. I was doing like calisthenics for an hour a day. And then I did that for like 3 months and I was like super fucking jacked. And then that all went away.
yeah.
I just stopped.
Oh yeah.
So
I think
routine
motivation only
is so
takes you so
important.
far. Like that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to have something to work
Motivation is a
towards.
bad thing, actually. Like it'll get you there, like going, but it's not gonna like keep you on pace, you know?
Yeah. I'm so jealous of people that like you see people that are like, I've worked out for 35 years and it's like, how are you still so fucking motivated to like every single day wake up, do like 15 minutes of cardio, like
You know what it is?
It's fucked.
It's like that. It's the same people that'd be like addicted to anything else,
Yeah.
but they found their like addiction to working out because it's like it gives you all those like different releases in your head when you work out, right?
Yeah, all the endorphins. Yeah.
The endorphins. So like instead of them being a crackhead, they're just a meathead.
Or they're, you know, doing 45 minutes of like hit every week. You know, it's, I don't know, man. I remember being younger. I remember like 19 to 22 was like my sheer fittest time. And then I got fucking fat. And then I started doing patrol driving for security. And bro, oh my fucking God. I leaned out so hard because I was doing 12-hour shifts. And what I would do is I would drive to a place for like in 2 minutes. I'd get there. I would then have to like get around the building, check all their doors, hop in the car, drive 2 minutes down the road, and then get out and do the same thing.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So I was like, and I got proper like boots, like leather combat boots as well. And I started running. Like I started just being like, if I get it done, then I get to leave earlier.
Do you leave sooner? Yeah. Nice.
There you go.
I was like fucking full blown jog. Like I had like a pair of earphones, like a pair of like wireless earbuds, and I would just fucking jog around the building, and then I'd get in the car and I'd drive to the next place, like jog around the next building.
So if you did it quickly, how long would it take normally if it instead of like 12 hours?
So there were 3 ones that I did. So there was one that was a 4-hour one, which is my favorite because 4 hours I would literally just like fire off a Red Bull and I would go as hard as I possibly could in that 4 hours.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be a 4-hour run and I could do it in 3.5 hours by just like, and it was even great. It was the only manual car they had for that 4-hour run. So you just be like fucking gear shifting the shit as fast as you could to get around places. So if a 12-hour one, which if we're talking about the fucking worst one of all time, like even if I was going hard, it would only save me like 35 to 45 minutes because like were like, they Google Maps shit. They were like, cool, assuming that you're doing all of this at 2 a.m. when nobody's on the fucking streets. And then before you know it, there's like construction, there's an event on that morning, there's a bunch of people out that night, doors have been locked, and then you're waiting for people to unlock them. You don't have keys that are correct, you get taken out to an alarm. Like, yeah, and half the time I would get out to an alarm and I'd be like pissing sweat in front of the person, like writing up the ticket and shit and like making sure everything's okay, and then I would hop back in the car and I would just fucking yeet it out of there. Like, and then I got a job in security where I sat down in a control room for 8 hours and I didn't eat like at all. Like I didn't eat during shift. Like I was still fasting for like 15 to 16 hours but like you put on weight regardless because I stopped exercising because I was too tired and I was sleeping like shit. And then I would sleep like shit and I'd get up and I would like maybe stream a bit and eat fucking dinner and then I would have a nap and then like it's just like you get like so like low energy and then you can't, it's so hard. When you're low energy, it's fucking impossible to pull yourself out of that low energy.
I've been in a fasting state and like that feeling of like not being able to do anything sucks. Like, and it's not just physically, it's definitely like mentally as well. You just want to like lay down and take a nap the entire day, you know?
Or just not do anything, just like, because it's weird. I can't nap, so I kind of just like relax. So I'll just like lay in my bed behind me, or just sit here at my desk and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Like I think that's kind of what, because my old job was very active. I was moving around. I was like, I still had some weight to it, but it was one of those things where like I was healthy because I was active, like moving around. And then when I was continually at a desk, and then with the pandemic, I decided to eat. I ordered out a lot, which was a bad thing to do.
Oh my God!
Like a lot of
dollars,
a lot of people,
thousands of dollars.
So like I definitely did a lot of that. So like it amped it up even more because I was like Sykes said, I would for 8 hours a day I was sitting stationary at a desk answering the phone, and all that motivation to like do anything once I left, I just want to go home and relax, or let's like do nothing. So like any kind of motivation I had to like just go on walks with my girlfriend or go places, like go to parks and go on like a little small hike, like stuff like that. I had no motivation to do that, and I wanted to just sit more, even though I just sat for 8 hours
Yeah.
and just do nothing. I didn't even have motivation. Like I had all these new games I bought, didn't play them. They just sat.
Yeah,
But
that's my Steam library.
that's all of our Steam libraries, my friend. Especially when the summer or winter sale, it's like, oh, cool, I can buy that for like 2 cents. You're not gonna play it. Let's be real.
Yeah,
No.
I'll get to them. I'll get to them.
No, you won't.
No.
Shit. I just started playing Apex Legends a fuckload. Like during
Yeah?
COVID, I was like literally sitting down and doing aim trainer workouts for like 45 minutes. And then I would jump on Apex Legends and I got so fucking good at that game. And then one day I was like, oh, this game's a piece of shit. And that was it. Like now I'm ratchet at FPSs now. Because like FPS games, out of everything else, like you can play like an RTS and like understand the game, keep up with the patches, but like if you come back after like 6 months, you've still got like that like understanding. Same thing with MMOs. FPSs is 110% hand-eye coordination. That shit goes away, you're fucked. And I don't have the motivation to do it ever again. So now I play Tarkov, the boomers shooter.
When I was really, really young, I was like so crazy at FPS games.
Yeah, I think
And
we all
just
were
like
at one point.
And like in recent years, I totally stopped playing FPSs and I started playing like Battlefield and Apex Legends again. I'm like, what the fuck happened? I used to be so good at FPS
Yeah.
games. Yeah.
I've noticed I've gotten better, like third person, if that makes sense. Like Gears of War, Fortnite, like stuff like that. Like I'm total dog shit at them, but I can play. I feel it's like I can play those better than any first person shooter. I think the last first person shooter I ever attempted to play was I tried Warzone and Apex, but like every time I tried to go down the site or just do something, I'm like, what is happening? Like I was like, I felt like, you know, when you give someone a controller who's never played a video game, you're like, that's what I felt playing a first person shooter. But if you gave me like Gears of War or Fortnite, I'm like, oh yeah, this is fine.
It's weird.
I don't know. Yeah, it is so weird. Like third person shooters, got no problem with, but first person, I'm like, what button do I press to run, Sonny? It's like,
it's I don't know, man. It's like the different genres are so odd, man, and especially with like, and what time is it? Okay, we're at 47 minutes. Try and make this one of the last things.
Yep.
New World that recently came out, and unpopular opinion maybe because of how many people, but it's just another fucking FPS. It's just another fucking
What's
FPS.
the game called?
New World, and it's
I
sorry, not
don't know
FPS.
this,
It's
though.
an MMO. Sorry, it's another MMO.
Okay. Is that the
full-blown.
one that looks like the pilgrims with the magic and shit?
Yeah. And people are like, it's a unique MMO because you don't wait for spells and it literally looks the same.
yeah, it does.
It
I'm
just
looking at stuff
doesn't-
of it right now.
Just doesn't have the same
Everyone's
UI.
on Final Fantasy 14 right now. Anyways.
Yeah, new DLC came out. I don't have time for an MMO. MMOs
Yeah,
take
if
so much fucking time.
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, the MMO I played, my MMO of choice for the longest time was World of Warcraft, and I,
Oh yeah.
like a dingus, I resubbed just to be like, let me see it. No, I can't do it. It's like
Wait,
I
were you playing retail WoW?
I was playing classic and retail.
Yeah, retail WoW. I have not liked retail WoW since like halfway through BFA, but I cannot play that game anymore. I played that game since I was 12 years old. Okay. So
I was like
yeah.
I was 23 when I started playing, and I stopped when I was 27. But then I would come back. I tried playing again recently. I'm like, oh no, I can't commit to this grind or like do anything in this anymore. So it's like I just play the stuff I want, and then. But
Yeah.
so,
If you play an MMO, say goodbye to playing anything else. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
There's no other games that you wanna play when you play an MMO because you put all of your time and energy into grinding so hard, and
come home from work, and then you go on to your second job online that doesn't pay you.
Basically, yeah.
that you're paying like
You
$40
pay
a
the
month for.
you pay the
You pay them
game.
too much money. You bought the game, and you have to pay a subscription on top of that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then like and like it's okay. And this is a prime example, not an MMO, but like all my friends play Destiny, right? Like all of my like Australian friends, people I fucking know, people I work with play Destiny too. And everybody's
man.
Destiny 2 is sick, man. Like you love FPSs. It's like I'm like I hate looter shooter as a genre. It's like taking an interesting and like exciting combat and then boiling it fucking down to spending hours shooting things and watching numbers pop above that. It's a fucking MMO, but with a gun.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing,
Okay,
man.
I like Borderlands, but oh my god, Destiny. I don't see the appeal of that game, and all I have to say is like, how are you going to call yourself an MMO but only have 3 classes and 3 people can play at a time?
It's
That's a
bad.
cool MMO.
And I played with a friend for a little bit, and then my friends for a little bit, and then they went to do a raid, and then I went, and then I went and played, by myself, and like, and then I uninstalled it. My friend's like, "Hey man, you want to play?" And it was 2 weeks later. "Hey man, do you want to play some Destiny 2?" I'm like, "Nah, bro, I fucking uninstalled it." Like, why, man? We would have played together. I'm like, "Nah, man, I don't want to fucking play it." And he's like, "Nah, man." He's well, like, cause you gotta play with the guys. I'm like, "Yeah, but you guys are always doing a fucking raid, so how do I play with you?" He's just like, "Well, cause new content came out, and that's just what's gonna happen." I'm like, why would I keep this game fucking installed? Why? Nobody's available to play it. I have to grind to get to where you are, and you're not around to play, so there's no playing with your friends. Oh my fucking god. I've never been so confused by a game. Like, it's so heavily sold as like this fucking great game. And I'm like, I'm seeing through it. It is just holy shit. It's oh my god. It fucking aggravates me so much. And then everybody's like, "Why do you want to play Destiny 2, man? Why do you want to play Tarkov?" You know why? Because I bought it and now I have the content so I can play the fucking game.
Yeah.
That's why. Not fucking Destiny. Holy shit. Fucking
See,
Destiny.
I'm the same boat with you with Destiny, but I don't get as like agitated with it. It's just one of those things where I'm like, it just was boring for me. Like, it is an MMO. The concept
so
of it was
boring.
cool.
Yeah.
But it's like every time I try to log on, I was like, oh yeah, my friends are playing. Hey, I'll play with this. Will. I was like, all right, I'd get on. Like, oh wait, actually, we're gonna be doing a raid. I'm like, cool. How long is this gonna take? 4 hours. I'm going to bed. Good night.
Yeah, I don't have 4 hours to wait. Fuck, I don't have
No,
4
I
hours to play a raid. I like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh god, what is happening? What, do you guys remember, like, you'd buy a game on a console and then they would just, that's the game. You now have it. You've got the game and you can play that shit to its entirety. It's not like, hey man, either you buy DLC or you now have to grind hours because you might RNG get a gun. And I heard them fucking talking on the Discord. Be like, "Man, I'll be grinding for this game for like fucking 15 hours for this gun, and I can't seem to get it. Every time I finish the quest line, I get the same one that I had last time. And oh man, I just want that. You want a virtual item? Why are you spending hours fucking doing this?"
I laugh because I know people that are like that to this day still. And like, oh, this doesn't have the stats I want. We're like, just take the fucking weapon. Like I get mad by this too because, like I said, I used to play World of Warcraft and I used to do a lot of grinding for like farming for rare mounts, like cosmetic stuff. And I'm like, after a while, I'm like, when you get that item you finally want, I would sit there, I'm like, why don't I feel accomplished by getting this?
Because it doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't. It's just like a little digital thing. It's essentially like I have this for bragging rights, and that's about it. And I can't put this on my resume.
No, because okay. And this is something I've realized. I don't know if I'm like a masochist, but like, and all my friends are like, we see that you've only been playing Tarkov. You know why? It's because I actually feel a level of tension in Tarkov because in like a second, I could have everything I have on my body stripped away from me.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reality is like, I could be in Tarkov playing and I could be feeling really good. And it happened to me the other day. I was running with 4 guys, feeling unstoppable, got down into a bunker, and a dude popped out and fucking just perfectly one-tapped me with high penetration rounds. And I died. And that was it. I didn't insure any of my shit. All of it's gone now. And for some reason, like the tension of like actually being in a scenario where like it's either this guy, I'm taking all of this shit away from this guy, or he's taking all this shit away from me. There's like genuine shit on the line in the game. Whereas like MMOs, it's just time. I'm just spending.
How big is the
time.
Tarkov map?
Depends. There's like five or six of them right now.
Okay, and is there just always people on that server, or how does that work exactly? Like,
It does sessions based on, they have like different numbers. So there's like Factory, which has like I think it can have up to 9 teams, and then there's Woods, which has up to 15 teams. There's
and if a team leaves, like a new team can join, kind of thing, or how does that?
No, it's separate sessions. So it's like
So like it's like a game, like you'd like queue up for it, right?
Yes.
And like everyone gets it at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So okay.
Wow,
so,
I saw it. It was like, oh, there's this map, and like this fuckers spawn on it sometimes, and you might see someone, and you might not see someone.
Dude, that's honestly, and without play, yeah, 100%. That's what it feels like. It's like I just get dropped on this woods map, and I might check some houses, and then I'll leave. I might not see a person, and then there's other times that I'll drop in, and then there's a whole team chasing me like an animal. No, it's so it's like PMCs, which is all players, start at the start, and then there's scavs, which is like, so you get a scav like every 15 minutes, and where you go in with a bunch of random gear, but you're dressed like a scav, which is supposed to be like a person that lives in Tarkov, which is like other NPC scavs don't shoot you, so they're allies. But long story short, you drop in at any random point in the game. You have different places you have to leave. You don't get to bring in your own shit, and none of the XP that you gain from like killing and looting people is applied to your player. So it's just like, so I did on my lunch break the other day where I
like a meme game for you. Then
you can kind of like, you get the shit when you leave, but like you don't risk your own gear. You just go in with a bunch of random shit. So and then there's like boss scavs, which are just like NPCs with ridiculously good accuracy, with like different, like there's a point where a friend of mine
are they all mobs? Like they're all dangerous? The scavs?
If you're a scav, when you go in as a scav, then like boss scavs, depending on what boss they are. So I was in Factory and I saw a bunch of like players get gunned down. I was like, what the fuck? And because in Factory, the boss scav in that one is a dude who's wearing like just a bandolier and a fucking welder's mask with a big cross on it. And I saw a bunch of dudes get mowed down. You see him run over and loot their fucking body, and then he just runs off into the next room. And I was like, picking shit up off the dead bodies. I'm like, yeah, it's all mine now. Like,
thanks, Dad.
Yeah, exactly. And they give you, and like there's a level of, and then don't get me wrong, there's a level of grinding to Tarkov. Like they're like, hey, find 2 USB drives, but you have to find them in raid, which means that you have to not have died with them. Like, so you've got a thing called a gamma case where you can put shit in and you get that even if you die, but you have to get out of raid with these USB sticks. I can't find USB sticks, and I sure as fuck almost can never get out when I think I found a USB stick, because it's just I don't know, it's a funny thing where like I don't mind grinding for it because the risks are so fucking high for finding stuff. So it feels like I'm actually scavenging for shit when there's like a dude who is running around with a shotgun and nothing else. You know why? Because he's poor as fuck and he can't afford body armor and a helmet. So he's loading up fucking hollow point rounds and just hoping he kills you when he shoots at you. Like,
is that how every noob player starts off?
Yeah, man. Everybody does that. Like,
yeah.
And they give you different things. They're like, hey, man, you need to go kill like 10 scavs as your PMC wearing no body armor. And I'm like, what butt fuckery is this?
I don't even like the sound of that. I'm like, remember I was telling you earlier, I was like, man, I'm interested in playing this game. I'm looking back, I was like, nah.
Dude, it's so fun. Like, I genuinely would recommend it to people. I think there's a lot of, like, at the start, there's a fuckload of growing pains with the game. Like, you really have to, like, get into the mindset of, like, you're conserving gear. Like, you're learning ballistics charts because you're only keeping, like, good ammo, because the difference between good ammo is penetration. Like, example, a dude shot at me, he unloaded his clip, and 15 bullets hit my chest. His ammo was so dog shit, it didn't even penetrate my armor.
Oh wow.
And the difference is I'm sitting there with a ballistics chart, looking at my ammo and deciding what ammo is worth selling based on its penetration and its damage to body.
Is there armor that doesn't cover your whole body, or like is there spots on like armor patterns that you're able to shoot someone
Yeah, the
and they die
legs.
still?
Shoot the
The
legs every
legs.
time.
Yeah.
If you've got a shotgun, run hollow points and just kneecap people who have like armor on.
Ugh.
But then there's high penetration rounds that like if
That's
you
what I
one tap
like to
people, it goes
hear.
straight through. Dude, it's yeah. And like after you die, it'll tell you how you died, what rounds were used on you, how many bullets you fired, and how much damage you did to them, so you can kind of see a breakdown. Or you can see that you fired like 72 shots and 9 of them landed. Which happened to me the other day, and I was like, I'm gonna go get some dinner. This is sad. This is a sad moment for me.
I kind of like that kind of stuff when they have that kind of thing in games where you can see like how you did. Like this is your like how many, like you said, how many bullets you fired. This is where you hit, and then you're like, still got it. Even though you're like, those 9 bullets hit him, I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
I don't know. Tarkov for me, I feel like is like me developing as a gamer to kind of like pulling away from games that allow me like Apex Legends, where I'm like, just lobby after lobby. Oh, I hot dropped and then I died 5 minutes later. I'm in another lobby and I can just repeat that process for 2 fucking hours. Whereas like Tarkov, I'm sitting there and deciding the gun that I'm buying, and then I'm like getting modifications, and you can actually like take apart weapons and like put different grips and like racks on it, and like placing like laser sights and lights and like different grips, and you can build entire guns from top to bottom. And I'm
I'd
deciding the
imagine
ammo.
laser sights are actually quite not good in that game, right?
They're good with shotguns because you can run from the hip and fire from the hip.
Oh, and then yeah.
So
I see what you mean. But the people can see your red dot, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Your laser sight.
you can turn them off
Yeah.
and on really quickly. It's like flashlights. So technically, if I have like a pump action shotgun, if I wanted to, I could put 3 flashlights on that. And if I'm running around on a map at night and then I run around and I hear you're in front of me and I turn on my lights, you'll actually be blinded. Like you'll actually see spots and not be able to see in front of you.
Oh.
Like shit like that, where there's like a tactical advantage to doing particular things. But yeah, I think like for me, I'm finding a lot of enjoyment in going through ballistics charts, like planning what I'm going to be putting together, like keeping gear that matters, like planning forward with quests. And like, I don't know, the game is forcing me to like kind of think more. Like it's not so much run and gun as much as like I learn the map, I learn how to play the quests. Like I'll learn like loot patterns, and then but like when I get into a gunfight, like you've seen on my on my TikTok, where it's like the one with the pistols, where it's like both of us are shooting and neither of us are wearing armor, so it takes one stray bullet to hit one of us in the face, and that's it. And all I was thinking, because the reload actions are so like to point where you have to pop it out, slide it out, you guy puts it in his pocket, and if you put shit in your pocket or bag or your vest, all 3 of them have a different reload time. Because if it's in your bag, you have to reach into your bag and go in there and fish that shit out and then put it into the gun. Whereas if it's in your pocket, you just slide your hand down and grab it. So stuff like that. I don't know. Just I feel like
It's a lot of strategy involved. Like it's like you have to, like you mentioned earlier, you had to look at the ballistics charts and what you want to do. Like you literally have to plan how you're going to play this, and it sounds like it's going to be something that changes each time you play that game too, which kind of has my interest, just because like you won't be able to have the same play style every time. Like
100%.
So
And
I like the fact that if you have a flashlight, it actually like blinds the person. When like in other games, when there's a flashlight, it's like, oh hi, it's a flashlight. You just pop them and they're like, that's it.
yeah.
But I like that.
Wait till you get caught. Like you cop a fucking flash grenade to the face, you're blind for like a full 2 minutes. Like at that point, you're like, and you got the ringing in the ears. Like I got shot in the helmet by a dude, and my fucking vision went blurry, and I was ringing in the ears because my fucking helmet rattled as he hit me. And I was literally like, nee, like fucking stepping back and swaying back and forth from like the trauma. Like it's crazy. And for that reason, it's so fucking enjoyable. Like
that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I don't think I could convince somebody to play Tarkov. I think like, yeah, and you can refund it, which is even better. So you could actually play it for like, jump in, have a few matches, and then just go, yeah, nah, Like one of the two. It's either yeah or
Yeah.
no, but yeah. I
Sounds like the
suppose.
real game doesn't start until you have like 100 hours plus in the game, though.
No, not at all. I don't even have 100 hours. The game, it's kind of like how much. It's hard to describe. It's like when you start, they give you like a handful of like gear. So they'll give you like 2 MP5s, a couple of pistols, some armor, and helmet. So you can go in with kit at the start, but it's kind of one of those things where I think if you were thinking about playing it, definitely like ask somebody to like sit down and watch somebody in Discord like actually jump in and play and be like, hey, do you want to watch me actually just like load out, get started, play through a run looking for something specific, and then decide whether or not you would like to play that? Because I don't know, it's not like any other shooter, so it's hard for me to describe it. But
Yeah.
like, I think it's for particular players is my biggest thing on Tarkov. Like you might
Yeah.
fucking hate it and not even know if you hate it or not yet.
Yeah. It's like part of me like really wants to pick it up and try it, but like I know because of how my play style is, but sometimes with shooters, I'll play it like it's like a Call of Duty, even though like there is legitimate strategy with the game. So I think that's the one thing I'm like, I have to like separate the two
You can play like that.
because I mean,
You
I
can
don't
play
want to, but I'd rather play like where you have to like just okay, if I'm gonna need to get this armor, but I need this kind of like this kind of ammo, this kind of weapon, and pray I don't have like a USB or like a quest that's gonna suck that are gonna be super annoying, like that kind of thing. Like it's all like it seems like it's a lot of RNG based, and like you have to plan everything out properly.
Well, there's like a lot to do. So, I mean, the good thing is like, especially if you're like looking for USBs, like I'm just stuck on that one now, but like I could do other stuff. I could do like 4 other things that aren't RNG based. It's like go on this map, grab this file, get this file to X place, and then that's
Okay.
kind of like a quest that can be done. But like, I have a problem of like really like zoning in on one objective and like focusing on it really bad. So
Yeah.
it's a really bad focus to have on a game that's like kind of a looter shooter, but on like a far more hardcore level. But yeah, I don't know. It's such an acquired like Tarkov is such an extremely selective taste. I think,
Okay.
out of any game I've ever played, I think that's the biggest like selective taste. Yeah. Depending on how hardcore you want to be. Day-to-day life is boring. Why not pretend like you're a Russian Slav that has fuck all money and some apple juice to get you through the day? That's me.
Living the dream right there. Living the dream.
Yeah. Financing rounds. Is it worth buying armor-piercing shotgun rounds? I could buy 3 times as many 7mm rounds, but they don't have the same penetration. Yeah, that's my fucking life. Okay, I made it sound like shit. Market valuing things. Oh god. Well, do we have anything else? Or have I just ranted about Tarkov for too long?
Hey, that's what's be part of this podcast, man. We to go on tangents about stuff. I don't have anything else. But I guess we hopefully we'll get back on a schedule of recording. I know all of us have different schedules and like live in different time zones. So whose turn is it this week to call somebody out? I think last time it was you. Yeah. And I think Teo did one.
What was your boss's name? What was that boss's name that you didn't like?
We're not doing that one.
I already did it.
Well, but
what was the company you worked for? There we go. Less vague.
Yeah, there you go.
No, let's not do that one. Well, I have someone to call out.
Go for it.
This person is kind of in the Pokemon community. He's been kind of like a big piece of shit. So, fuck you, Real King Gary, or Pokemon Master King, whatever your name is. Fuck you.
Are we going for the kneecaps on like this is how we build
a
community is by shitting all over people.
Well, like this dude, oh man, this guy, he made a comment where like saying like having a signature on something is not even worth it, and he like tried tracking when people called him out. He sends his community to attack people, but now he's coming out saying like, oh, we didn't do all that. I'm a nice guy. I do this, and this. I'm like, no, there's screenshots of you've screenshots of you telling your own fans like, yeah, this person's nuts. Let's go roast them. Really?
This old dude.
Yeah, like he was originally from Pawn Stars. Great way to get yourself known. He was a pretentious asshole back then, and then he's self-dubbed himself the king of Pokemon. No, sorry, but I don't know if you've ended it yet. It's like, but
Not yet.
well-
I'm now so in this right now. What
Yeah.
the fuck? There's a picture with him with Steve Aoki? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few posts.
Oh my
I
god.
saw
I
that
can't
too,
I
that's what I'm
can't stand
looking
this
at.
guy with a passion. Like every time I hear his voice to him, like I just want to rip my own eyes out.
Oh my god. He's yeah. I'm very and it's weird seeing like a much older man like getting deep into like such a young community. It's something very off-putting about it. I don't know why.
I mean, I know some like
That's
older
like-
people who are in it, but like this
Yeah.
guy, like he puts like a creepy factor to it.
Yeah,
Does
that's
that
what I
make
mean.
sense?
Like, I'm not like
Yeah.
judging older people into like
yeah.
Pokemon and stuff, but yeah, it's. You know, you get vibes. I don't know if I've just worked with a lot of creepy people. So
No,
it's
I know
this
exactly
guy-
what you're talking about. Huh?
How is this guy King Pokemon? Like, what the
I have no idea. I think because apparently he has a really impressive collection of grade cards, which when you think about it, graded cards are nice, but also it fucking ruins the market for vintage stuff. Sorry, that's a whole different rant for another time. But anyway, fuck you, Real King Gary, or whatever the fuck your name is now. You're not even a king. Get off your shit throne, you piece of shit.
Now we're ending it there.